Let's kick it.
Kick it.
Home of the Whopper.
Let's do it.
Home of the Whopper.
Shut up and sit down.
There are two ways to fix anything, WD-40 and duct tape.
I'm gonna ride my bicycle to your place.
Once again, proof. You can fix anything with duct tape.
I'm gonna play on my guitar, go for a
You are listening to the Dialed Podcast with Matt Lee Grand, Evan Price, Lance Hepler, and Jake Von During. Marriage is a wonderful invention, but then again, so is a bicycle repair kit.
race. Walk right in and sit down on the bed.
I'm trying to buy some WD-40 and get out of this godforsaken store.
I'm gonna push that beat-up car to you.
You know that one of my biggest pet peeves is excessive bike noise.
Smiling back at me. You are the only thing that feels like Yum yum breakfast burrito. Yum yum breakfast burrito. Your heart angel young.
Hi, welcome back to the Dial Podcast. I am Jake Von During, and I'm here with Lance
Lance friggin' Hepler.
Back in studio.
Back in studio with my friends.
Where you been, jackass?
I've been all over, loving my life, just
You have
drilling
been.
it.
I've been watching on Instagram. It's been a nice, enjoyable.
I unfollowed him.
It's been
Unfollow.
It's been Utah, Arizona, Idaho, just glory 2 weeks. I had a blast.
I bet.
Yeah, it's
Good
been
times.
It's been good. Yeah.
Jackass.
Yeah.
To his left, Matt LeGrand.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen of the internet? You guys look a bit fluffy today.
My hair is large.
It's large and in charge. It's large and in charge.
It's because I jumped in the pool and then just
That's
just
your
roll.
shower. That's
Just
your shower
walk-
for the
just-
month.
Yeah, in my full kit. Just jump in the
You're
pool.
like,
Done.
August is good.
Cleaned.
August is good. We're good
Soap
for
is
August.
for suckers.
Lance is like in the middle of
Pay
like,
for soap. Can you
Why do-
believe
I
it?
don't understand.
You people paying for soap.
Who's paying for soap?
Oh my gosh.
Not me.
Lance driving through like Utah, and he sees some like residential neighborhood and scopes out a pool and like jumps fences. And lady's like, "Hey, Donnie, some strange guys in our yard. He's in our pool." And Lance back there taking a bath. That's how you roll these days, huh?
I did that in Moab once. I was in Moab for the weekend riding mountain bikes, and I literally just I broke into a hotel pool and just dove in.
I've done that before too.
I'm like,
Okay,
this feels
so-
great, and then just like grabbed a towel and like in the car and was gone.
So I trained in Boulder for a summer at altitude, but basically we were just homeless for like a summer. And we used to go to like a pool and they had like showers, right? Because pools have showers, and that's where we showered.
yeah, sounds about right.
Well played.
Homeless lifestyle.
Jeez.
Wowzers. Guys, it's been a minute since we've all been at the table, and I got asked them like, "Hey, what's going on with you guys? You guys have been like MIA, like you've been almost missing
come on.
like
We missed 1 week in 5 years,
Did we
and
miss
suddenly
did we actually miss a week though?
well,
no, because we kind of did extra during
No,
the
we're
tour.
good.
we did it extra during the tour,
Yep.
and then we did 2 shows in 3 weeks, and suddenly we're MIA.
Yeah. It's freaking summer, man.
It
This-
got stretched, man.
yeah, we were all over the place.
Yeah.
Still kind of are, but we happen to all be back in town.
Here we
so
are.
The boys are back.
I drove back last night.
Hey, we're gonna kick this one old school. We're gonna go retro. Little retro dial podcast, and we're gonna start with the back pedal.
will my hair stay gray, or can I go back to my regular blonde locks?
What was it before?
I don't know, but it was
We don't
beautiful.
know. No one knows. No one knows.
We just need Sully to come back. Let's do some backpedaling. Who wants to go first?
I think I'm supposed to always go first, and I don't even know what I did this week. That's how bad it was. It's been a blur. You know what I did do? A whole bunch of coaching, administrative stuff to get ready for the cross-country season. It has been a ridiculous
Couple
amount of
questions for you,
work.
Matt. Couple questions.
Okay.
How many hours a week are you working in your real job?
Like, none. Like, I mean...
You quit. You quit to
gone.
become a high
Did you
school
retire
cross country
too?
coach.
I don't want to say this on air and have it be recorded, but it's probably like 5 to 10, and I've probably worked 40 to 50 on cross country stuff.
Oh, geez.
Just this week.
How
This week
mu-
is ridiculous.
How much time do you spend going to pools, taking your boys to?
Oh, a lot. I spend a lot of time driving back and forth to the pool.
Okay.
Although we kind of have like this pool break for the month of August, although that's not exactly true because they also have these camps and things like that that we're taking our kids to. So it's not quite as much back and forth to the pool.
Okay.
So, but normally it's
how much time a week are you spending making videos, Matt LeGrand?
Probably it's probably 20 hours maybe.
How many hours a week are you spending running, biking, and swimming yourself, Matt LeGrand?
At least 30 minutes a day consistently. Sometimes somewhere between like 30 minutes and an hour and a half.
How many hours a week are you spending reading
like-
divorce papers, Matt LeGrand?
Those divorce papers, they just read themselves. If you add it all up, it's definitely like, oh, that's the 24 hours there in a day, then you're over that.
I'm convinced Matt has, I don't know, produced some sort of AI or something like that. He's cloned himself in
I
some
want to.
weird
I'm in.
form.
I'm all in on AI taking over my job.
I don't know how you fit it all in, dude.
It's bad. Like I posted a video today and I want it to be good, and then that means like I'm going to spend a lot of time on it. And I was like, oh, it should go out Thursday morning, and of course it goes out Friday like lunchtime. Like that's how late everything gets pushed back. Just push it all back. Push it back. Keep pushing. Everything's late in my life.
Yeah.
Me.
You were even late here tonight.
Yeah.
Although this is
I'm
kind
like,
of a soft. We
was-
don't have a hard time. It's kind of.
Well, this is retro dialed after hours.
Yeah, we are
We are
after
on,
hours.
We are on after hours.
Cheers.
Cheers. You hear
There's
that?
a couple of beers. You guys
Yeah.
are yeah.
Yeah, we're cheer. Here, we'll cheers you in. Yes.
I'm drinking polar seltzer water.
Yeah, sure you are. It's vodka. He's drinking vodka.
Straight vodka.
No, it's been a crazy week. But I've scrambled. I mean, I've done some things like where it gets late at night and I want to get my little tidbit of exercise in, and I'll hop on Zwift. Even though the weather's been good, I'll do like 30 minutes at like 100 watts. It's just embarrassing. I've gone for a couple runs. I ran with David Goodman, who's like one of our team cyclist buddies.
Why is he running?
Yeah, why is he running? Is his bike broken?
His coach is having him run a couple times a week, which he is not a runner. But like on my Strava post, I was like, oh, David's a runner now. But we ran up and down our street. He was like, my coach has me running twice this week. Do you want to run with me? And I'm like, yes. And then, so I ran with him once, and then he was going to go again tonight. And I was like, I'm sorry, I don't have time. But I'd pass him. I like drove because I was driving kids to the pool, as I do.
Yep.
And
there he was
and he
running.
was out running, and I was like, go get him, dude. Go
Get
get
off
him.
the road, jerk off. That's what I yell when I
It was
go
good.
by my friends.
It's good. Good to have another runner in the neighborhood. So there's that.
Yeah, yeah, that's good times.
I have been doing some swimming. Swimming's good. Got a little 10 o'clock masters group that I swim with. It's super nice. I'm not swimming well. I'm not running well. I'm definitely not biking well. But yeah.
What's the plan for you this winter? What are you going to do? Are you going to like change things up? Are you going to try and focus on maybe doing some racing next year?
Maybe. I think I would like to get through cross country season and then maybe try and get like on a nice like program of hitting like a basic like a winter training program for cycling.
Yep.
And I think that could just be Zwift, but also have it be a little bit more organized. So that's the plan. That's the plan for this winter, and I think that'll set me up for a decent summer or spring or summer. And I don't even care about doing racing necessarily, but I'd like to go travel and do some, like, I don't know. I have this idea in my mind of like, I'm just going to meet Lance and we're going to find some climbs in the summer and we're just going to like video some stuff.
Yes, please.
Like, you know what I mean? Like what's the top 3 rides in Washington? What's the top 3 rides in Oregon? Like just go do these rides, and I have to be in sort of decent shape because I think you want to have these rides that you want to basically create a story around it, and you need to be able to do 60, 80, 100 miles to be able to kind of like portray these events. I think it'll be amazing.
Count me in. Done. We could do a whole video series on that.
I know. I'm serious. I think this is just like
I'll block my schedule out.
It doesn't even, well...
There's an open room over there if you guys want to go like sort this out.
I don't even think, we should be able to work around, in the summertime, we should be able to work around schedules. Summertime's busy for everyone, but it could be amazing.
It could be amazing.
And I think it's like one of those things where we do the route, we GoPro some stuff, and then we also work on like sunrise, sunset, just going to certain spots and getting like beautiful film work stuff done.
You should have been on this last trip with me.
Was it decent?
Oh, dude. But we'll get there.
Oh, dude.
We'll get there.
Yeah. So that's a goal. And it's kind of a long-term goal too, where it's like, hey, when my kids are done with, school and all this stuff, like how fun would it be to just travel and make videos?
Yeah.
It's a dream.
Yeah.
But it's a dream. I don't know. We'll see.
Make it a reality.
I know.
Do it.
I can. It's just, it's busy. Life's busy.
Yeah.
This beginning of the summer, I looked at the calendar and I literally didn't have one weekend that was open.
What?
Damn.
Every weekend, busy with something.
That's mostly
Kids,
sitting at swim
work.
meets, though, right?
Swim. Most of it was swim.
Yeah.
Almost all of it was swim meets.
That is a massive commitment. And it's unfortunate because you're mostly indoors. Correct?
Summertime's outdoor stuff.
For all the swimming?
Yeah. You're going to a lot of outdoor pools in the summertime.
Wow.
Because they have like what they call like long course season. So it's 50-meter pools and things like that. There's only a couple of those, but you kind of have to like travel to them. And, and whatever it is. But like Mount Hood Community College has one. So we do a couple races there. It's all outdoors. It's really nice.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is going to swim meets and being at swim meets all the time sounds horrible, but we kind of like it. We're kind of into it. Like we cheer for all the kids on the team, not just our kids, and we're into it.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun watching your kids, but it's just makes for long days.
Oh my gosh. Long days. You got to pack. You got to get up early and pack and be ready for you know, it's the same with like a long soccer thing.
Yeah, there's a cycling club, a newer team, and it's mostly, actually it's all youths. It's the East Portland Youth Cycling Team.
Oh, cool.
Or EPIC, as they call their little acronym.
Okay.
And they love, road racing and crit racing, but their thing is like velodrome stuff. And as we know here in the Portland area, the Alpenrose Velodrome shut down. The next closest velodrome is up in Seattle.
Yeah.
They're driving up there almost every single weekend, leaving on Friday and coming back on Sunday night.
Really?
It's like, I think it's like 3.5 or 4 hours or something like that. It can be even longer when, they're stuck in traffic and whatnot. But at the end of the day, I mean, that's just a huge commitment. They're gone all weekend long. They're driving all the time. They're going up to Seattle all the time. So it's just kind of it's a bummer. So anyway.
That's what happens.
Yep. You want to backpedal?
Dude, do you really want to hear about my
We're going to be jealous.
2 weeks? I did literally like 10 different rides, like 5 different hikes, a bunch of kayaking.
Tons of kayaking.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of kayaking.
Were you wake surfing a little bit too?
I was wake surfing as well.
Did you hurt your back?
It was sore for a couple days.
Yep.
You know what's stupid is I kind of got seasick. I think I'm prone to motion sickness the older I get.
Well, remember that time we were biking and you almost like threw up?
Oh yeah, I puked on somebody's grass, and you like had to walk me home and carry me into the house and stroke the sweat away from my brow.
I remember it. I took full advantage.
You did. It was beautiful.
He's down and out. I'm going to take full advantage of
moment.
this guy.
Okay.
But yeah, I think that probably as we get older, there's like a lot of that stuff where like I don't like to go up on ladders anymore.
I know.
Getting old sucks.
Stuff wears out. Yeah. So the reason I was in Utah, or I was going there, is because I had a college buddies reunion weekend on Lake Powell. That was the reason to go to Lake Powell. We were going to spend like 4 days on a houseboat with a wake surfing boat and cruising around and
you guys
hanging out.
kind of do this every year, right?
We've been doing it for a couple years.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but I went like 5 days early and picked up my college buddy, Steve Waldrip, who lives in the Ogden area. Mm-hmm. And I acted like his personal driver for 5 days while he was doing all his business work on the phone. And we drove to different sites and rode bikes and camped in beautiful spots. Freaking A. We went to the spot called the Little Grand Canyon.
Yeah, I saw a photo.
It's in like the San Rafael Swell area of central Utah. It was freaking gorgeous. It was absolutely gorgeous. There was like a 15-mile ride, mountain bike trail that goes along the rim of this whole canyon. Guess how many people we saw out there?
0.
One.
Nice.
That's it. Nobody out there.
Really?
No. It was kind of odd. Everywhere we went in Utah and in Arizona was almost empty. And I think it's because August is kind of monsoon season. It's usually hot, but it was not
It wasn't
too hot.
unseasonably cool for...
It was.
Yeah.
It was unseasonably cool, but that little Grand Canyon trip was just phenomenal. I mean, Steve and I just had a blast, and we camped like right on the canyon rim. Not another soul in sight.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Were you boondocking, or was this a legit campsite?
No, completely boondocking.
All right.
Yeah, just
Love
out
it.
there in the middle of nowhere. It was fantastic. From there,
Did you guys pitch tents?
no, we slept in the van.
Oh,
no.
you slept in the van, huh?
We slept in the van because there's 2 beds in the van.
Oh, okay.
So Steve takes the big bed and I take the small
All
bed.
right.
Because the small bed's more comfortable.
My friend Steve is 6'8".
Oh.
He's very
That's
tall.
Very tall.
So
That's a big spoon.
he barely fits in on the upper bed. So then I made him go rock counting with me, of course. So
That's kind of cool.
yeah, we did that. But there's this highway in Utah called Highway 12, and it's considered one of the most beautiful highways in the country. And it goes between Torrey, Utah, and Escalante, Utah. And it's like 40 miles long that is just these gorgeous, beautiful views. The Tour of Utah went through it, I think, a few years ago. Maybe not the Tour of Utah. There's been races that have gone down it. It is unreal. You're like riding on this perfect ribbon of asphalt that is on the ridge of between 2 canyons that drop like 3,000 feet on either side. And then you drop down into the canyon in these big red rock walls. I mean, it was absolutely gorgeous. So
Would you call it glorious?
it was glorious. So we did this Highway 12. So the whole point, we did this Highway 12 ride. And my daughter, Kelty, is actually on a film set at the moment. She is an assistant director. They're filming a movie about wilderness camps for youth, and she got hired to be the second AD.
They're not part of like a weird strike thing going on?
It's an independent film, so it's not part of the Writers Guild.
Okay.
So
is she part of the whole...
She's not in the Writers Guild or the Screen Actors Guild yet because she doesn't have enough stuff. So she was not crossing picket lines to be on this show.
Not a scab.
Not a scab.
Not a scab.
So she invited us to come to the set. So we went and saw her working with all these people and watched
Did you roll
them
up
film.
on your bike in your kit, though?
No, we rolled up
Okay.
in the van. I was
Okay.
not in the kit.
All right.
That could have been funnier.
Yep.
We actually showed up too early, and she's like, I'm busy. You need to go do something for an hour. So we went rock hounding for an hour and found some really cool stuff. So I keep making my friend do that. But we had done this Highway 12 ride, and we only did like 10 or 12 miles where we wanted to do 40 because the plan was to go to Bryce National Park and ride Thunder Mountain again.
Oh, yeah.
Because
you got to do that.
you can't be that close to Bryce and
Yep.
not miss it. And as we're driving to Bryce, huge thunderstorm, poured rain for like 3 hours, not like a passing cell. It poured rain. There was no Thunder Mountain happening.
Oh.
So we got completely washed out from trying to do Thunder Mountain. But
Was there any flash flooding? That's usually synonymous with
I'm
some
sure there was
floods.
flash floods happen somewhere, but we didn't get caught in anything. Thank goodness.
Is the ground there pretty porous? Does it like rinse away the water pretty quick? I mean, or is it going to be standing water, muddy?
It's going to be standing water for like a day and a half.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So we just moved on. We actually ended up going.
Sucks.
We found some other really cool, beautiful, off the grid campsite, and just, oh my gosh, it was just phenomenal.
Nice.
What we did. And we went to Page, Arizona, because that's where we were meeting all my college buddies. And I did a mountain bike ride. There's a rim. There's like a 10-mile loop that goes along the rim around Page. And I said, okay, Steve, I'm going to do one easy lap, and then I'm going to go full gas for a full lap to see if I can get the KOM. And I missed it by like 40 seconds or something. Yeah. So I completely buried myself for like 45 minutes. But I'm trying to get ready for the cross season, so we just had a blast. But then we one of my other buddies, you want to hear all these travel stories?
Why not, man?
So one of my other buddies, he owns a houseboat on Lake Powell, and he has a ski boat or a wake surfing boat. And
these are good friends to have.
Yeah,
you don't
dude.
want to own a boat. You want to have a friend that has a boat.
Yeah, you don't want to own the boat yourself. You want to have a
You want friends with boats.
That's right. So we all hooked up. There were 6 of us. Somebody was in charge of food, and we showed up, and we took the boat out and camped in up this beautiful slot canyon. And I would go kayaking every morning, and then we would go wake surfing like 2 or 3 times a day. I had a great. It was all my college buddies. None of us drink or party. We all just hang out and talk and make fun of each other, and the same thing that happens like in this room. Sure. So we had a really good time, but I didn't ride for like 3 days because I'm hanging out with my buddies on the boat. Had a great time. So that was a lot of fun. Then after that, I had to get Steve, my friend Steve. He was actually in the middle of closing like $100 million real estate deal.
Oh, geez.
So he's in the middle of trying to finish this big real estate deal because he runs this big opportunity housing fund in Utah, and he was trying to close this property, and he actually was able to close it. So I was total chauffeur boy. It was a lot of fun. So
We got a nice tip out of that.
I got nothing at the moment. I told him,
10%, man.
I told him I'd happily be his driver for 2% equity in the company. That's all I want. 2% equity in the
Seems
company.
reasonable.
He didn't
take on that one?
He didn't take it. So I don't know what was happening. From there in Utah, I didn't go straight home because I didn't have to. And so I drove to Sun Valley, Idaho, which was 4 or 5 hours away. And then I've spent like 3 days in Sun Valley just riding mountain bikes on those like perfect trails.
Nice.
Hung out in Sun Valley by yourself? Was anybody there?
So my family had a house there for like 40 years, but my oldest sister has bought that house from the family. So it's not my parents or the whole family's house anymore. It's just my
So you
sister's.
boondocked in your sister's driveway.
So I slept in my sister's driveway, correct.
Well done.
Yeah. And but their youngest son, that did it. I'm having headphone issues for whatever reason.
Maybe it's what's between the headphones.
It could be that my ears are stopped working.
No, mine went.
It's quite possible my ears just quit working entirely. So
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it sounds like you had a nice little couple. Was it a couple weeks? How long were you gone?
I was gone like 2 full weeks, like almost, a little more than 2 weeks.
Wow.
So, but my nephew, he's 29 years old. He's not young, but he's staying in the house. So I went and hung out with him, and he's working and he works remotely.
Yeah.
And so he can stay in the house, and I would just go mountain biking every day or riding every day. I did this like ride called Osberg Ridge in the Sun Valley area, and the pictures were just ridiculous. It was so gorgeous out there.
Nice.
Like just huge mountains and off the grid, and just it was phenomenal. I just had a great time, but it was time to come home. So I did all this riding, and I was feeling great. And I just took my mountain bike and my road bike. I did several road rides while I was out there, one in Sun Valley and one in the Ogden area, and I've just been living the Hepler lifestyle.
Living the dream.
Screwing around. Playing bikes.
So that's kind of it.
Gotcha. Why are you guys looking at me?
But what'd you do, Jake?
The polar opposite of Lance.
I'm sorry.
I think we had our last podcast come out on, what was it, August 7th? Was that a Monday that it came out on? Maybe?
I think it was a Monday.
So on Tuesday, I went for a bike ride outside, and it did not go well. And I have not been on a bike since.
Oh,
So,
no.
It was
Did
a
you have
gravel ride.
crash?
Yeah. No.
Okay.
The wheels are falling off this whole body here. I'm just a washed up.
I'm telling you, man, it's getting old stuff. It's
No
not
good for nothing. Washed up, broken down. I'm turning it. I think it's just going to be a dog walker now. I'm just going to walk for.
We could have a
Miles with my
podcast.
dogs.
We have a podcast about walking dogs.
My dog walks me. I can't walk my dog.
Yeah. Anyway, I
She
thought
needs a bike. She needs someone to bike.
I thought my leg was going to be up for going out and trying to like throw a little bit of intensity at it. It wasn't a lot. It was, we'll call it a moderate effort, and it was just shy of 30 miles. It's an out and back ride, so it's about 15 miles out and about almost 15 miles back. And we we didn't go like super hard. At least I didn't. We've got a couple regroup spots, and we get pretty much out to the turnaround spot, and I'm like, yeah, that wasn't good. I mean, there was a couple times where I was holding decent sustained watts for 5 minutes, maybe like 350 watts, but it wasn't like those hard like 12, 13, 1400 watt efforts where you're like trying to out sprint people or getting over like big rollers or whatnot. And it felt so crappy, like 15 miles into it, that like my hip was swelling up and it was like pinching inside and my quad started to cramp. Like Lance will know what I'm talking about, but there's the Washougal dike that we ride back on, and then we'll drop down and we'll go ride on the beach because that's always a beautiful time. This time of year
near sunset.
Yeah, it's just
gorgeous.
Yeah, and you can ride like on the water or in the water or just outside of it, and it's nice. All the guys dropped down. I'm like, waved goodbye and just rode straight home. And I haven't been on a bike since. So
you just like took the road home.
Yeah,
you had to call it.
I did, yeah. I jumped out on the road and just rode straight home and was back to the whole physical therapy, massage therapy thing. And I did go in for my massage therapist. God, she destroys me. These things are not pleasurable at all. And she was saying that it was feeling pretty lumpy and still dealing with adhesions. But I'm just going to take some time off. So I haven't been on the bike in 10 days, and I'm going to take time off, and I'm just going to focus on the massage therapy, the stretching, the acupuncture, the physical therapy, Pilates stuff. And then I'm getting back into the gym, and I'm going to start doing some strength training and see if I can build myself up. And then I'm just going to ease my way back into riding. Unfortunately, it's probably going to be mostly easy rides outside or on the trainer.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the summer's coming to an end pretty quickly here, and we're going to be back on the trainer doing the whole trainer thing and, just riding outside sparingly. But I'm going to just spend this winter trying to get strengthened and healthy and put it all together so I can have a good 2024 campaign racing against Lance Epler because I'll be in the same age group as him.
Damn it.
So
stay broken.
But yeah, it just hasn't been fantastic. But outside of that, everything's going pretty good. I mean, I think we got to narrow down a school for my daughter. We got to, obviously she's got to get accepted there. And
is this public knowledge? Do you want to talk about it, or?
She hasn't boiled down to, well, she's got
her top picks.
Yeah,
basically.
it's like a top 5, and she's going to apply to, I think, like 7 or 8 different schools. Okay. And then hopefully like she'll get into the ones that she really wants to go to. But I think if she has her way and she gets accepted, my daughter's going to be going to the University of Colorado Boulder.
That's like her number one.
That's her number one. And I don't blame her because being there made me want to go back to school.
Cool.
It is beautiful. It's a fantastic part of the country. Matt lived there for a summer.
They treat their homeless really nice.
Yep. So
no, they don't.
I slept.
It was a smelly mess.
I slept in the Marriott parking lot there one night and like poached their bathrooms. Like I slid in the back door. That's what they do in Boulder. They just let the bathrooms are open for everybody.
So when you're a runner, you have to be able to find bathrooms. Probably cycling too, right? But like hotel lobbies are usually very nice bathrooms.
Yep, it works usually.
They're very good bathrooms.
If you can go quickly enough past the front desk.
You always go in like you know what you're doing. You never look up.
Correct.
Just go.
Yeah.
And you can find a bathroom.
Play the part, act like you belong there, and you might even be able to slide in and get the free breakfast too if you play your cards right. I don't think anybody's going to ask you about that.
I think we did that on that Boulder trip also. I'm admitting to a crime, but
Residence Inn have free breakfast. Marriott Residence Inn and Marriott Fairfields have free breakfast as well. Just
for everybody?
Pretty much.
Well,
yeah. Anyway. So anyway, it's, life is good otherwise. I mean, I get tired of sounding like I've been bitching and moaning about broken stuff for 5 years, and this is just another saga. It's the disappointing part for me is just not being able to go outside and ride with my friends the way that I want to. But this is going to be the 6th year or 6th season in a row of not being able to go do cyclocross.
Yeah.
There's just no way I can go do it. There's like always something. It's 2 years of shoulders, 1 year of COVID, and 2 years of hips. And here we are again. So it is what it is.
Oh.
Anyway, let's move on because even I am tired of listening to me talk about me being injured all the time.
It's frustrating. So I feel you. Yeah.
So, all right, let's do the whole lead out news thing. Do you guys want to do some lead out news stuff?
Let's do some lead out news.
I'm all about having fun.
We haven't talked to Champ Bailey in the longest freaking time.
Champ Bailey here. What do we want to talk about for lead out news?
Anything and everything.
All right. So, one thing we haven't talked about is what happened at the World Championships. Did you watch any of the World Championships?
No.
Matt LeGrand?
No.
0?
I don't think so.
Nothing? Did you hear about any of it?
I was gone in Michigan for that week.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We had no connection.
You're in the middle of nowhere.
It was
Iona.
Actually, Ionia.
Ionia.
There's like an IA. So what's interesting about Michigan was like it was kind of a relief. Being like,
Just
I put
escape.
my phone down. And I'm like, it doesn't work. So I put that down for a couple of days. And you know, like how you get like a screen time report, and it's like you dropped 130% of your screen time. It's an impossible amount of dropping your screen time. But yeah, and so I didn't like it. That's the thing. It was kind of like right after the tour. I didn't, I was so amped up on watching cycling and all this stuff, and then it was like, and nothing.
The men's road race was phenomenal. It was amazing to watch.
What happened?
It was super long. It was like 267 kilometers. It was like really long. And they started in one city and rode all the way to another, and then they did like 7 laps around the city that had like 40 turns in it. So it was like a difficult course.
Those are cool when they get into those laps, though.
Yeah. And
I like courses like that.
And it came down. I think Bettiol made an attack and like stayed away for like 2 laps, but then it was Van der Poel and Van Aert and Pogačar and Mads Pedersen that pulled Bettiol back. And so all of a sudden, those 4 guys were all together, and Van der Poel just freaking exploded with like 2 laps to go. Like drilled it up this climb and just dropped everybody.
Don't you want to just like experience what he's feeling to know how bad? I mean, because we look at him and like it looks effortless, but like I want to know how much harder he is suffering, how much harder he is going, how much pain he's feeling in relation to what we feel when we go that hard. I just want to be able to like wrap my head around that for just a moment.
It's kind of it's pretty amazing.
It's alien.
It's alien. Like Van Aert like was trying to stay with him and just couldn't.
Would you say
Don't be
suspicious.
Don't be suspicious.
Could be. But it was pretty amazing. He ended up staying away for the last 2 laps. He even crashed because it was raining, and he took a corner not so
break
good.
a boa on his shoe and broke a cleat or something like that?
He snapped a boa on his shoe, but the shoe still worked, and he didn't mess up. I can't believe he didn't land on his derailleur. His bike worked perfectly fine, but he the boa was like hanging from the shoe, and he just ripped it off and like tossed it and just rode without his
shoe attached.
The shoe
top part of it.
top part of it attached. But he still was able to stay away, and he won by like a minute and a half or something. So Van der Poel and Van Aert second, and Pogačar actually was able to outsprint Mads Pedersen.
Really?
Yeah.
All
so
right.
he ended up taking third. And Pogačar, after the race, because it was like a 7-hour race, like full gas, 7 hours. Pogačar like almost fainted. He was shelled.
Wow.
Like they told him, okay, if you're on the podium, you have to make yourself available for interviews. And he only went for like a couple minutes and said, I can't even think. I can't even do this. He said that was 2 laps too long. It was 2 laps too much. And he actually got fined because he wasn't there enough, but he was like,
he don't care.
I don't care. So it was pretty crazy how well Van der Poel went.
Those 1-day races, he's a multi-day stage racer kind of guy. Those 1-day races, those guys put out some monstrous numbers, and he's a monster himself. Don't get me wrong, and he's won plenty. But when you've got the likes of all of those guys going that hard for that long, on a 1-day deal, I mean, he's built for like being able to do it again and again and again. But they're also not going quite that hard. So that I don't know. That's kind of interesting to see him crack a little bit like that.
He was cracked. Like they're filming him like backstage before they go out for the medal ceremony, and he's leaning on the barrier like with his head down, just give
me a second here, guys. 1 second.
I can't quite go just yet.
If you think about it, that's how it should be, though.
That's how it should be.
But I mean, like, it weirds me out that some of these guys go to the well and then they're like just fine the next day during a lot of these longer stage tours and things like that. Like,
suspicious.
It's their recovery tools are top notch.
Yeah. So pretty amazing. That men's road race was amazing.
Yeah.
The women's road race, equally as good. But Lotto Kopecky, she was able to outsprint, I think, her teammate Demi Vollering. I think they are on the same team. I think they are on that specialized team.
Yeah.
So Lotto Kopecky won, and Demi Vollering was second, and a Danish rider, Ludwig, was third. Then the men's time trial.
Yeah.
Did you guys see any of that?
Mm-mm.
Freaking Remco Evenepoel.
He can time trial.
Yep.
He buried everybody.
Suspicious.
He crushed everybody. Wout was kind of going for it, and I think his season finally caught up to Wout.
Yeah.
He was like, I think he ended up 5th or something like that. But he did not. Remco Evenepoel beat Filippo Ganna. And Filippo Ganna is like that is so awesome. Jake's dog just came to the window and stared at us longingly like, please love me.
Hey, guys. I want to be on the podcast.
I want to go on a podcast. Anyway, Remco Evenepoel, he ended up winning by 12 seconds over Filippo Ganna, which was just amazing. And then this 19-year-old kid from the United Kingdom ended up with the bronze medal.
It's the first time that a 19-year-old's been on the podium since Remco.
Since Remco, yeah. Josh Tarling, which he's on the Ineos
I was
team.
going to say, did Ineos already sign him?
They've already signed him, yeah. So, and the women's time trial, kind of
Chloe.
Chloe Dygert.
Yep.
Like redemption for her.
Yeah.
It was 3 years ago during the World Championships where she crashed and almost sliced her whole leg off by going
Major
over a
laceration. Yeah, that
barrier.
was nasty.
And she was able to recover enough that
She crushed too, didn't she?
she crushed.
Yeah.
She won by 6 seconds over Grace Brown. That's not a crushing, but third was a minute and 13 back. So pretty crazy.
6 seconds, 60 seconds. Who's counting? She crushed.
Yeah.
Good job, Chloe.
So then the other thing that I was most interested in was the cross country mountain bike race, and a little bit of drama with that because Nino Schurter has won it 10 times. So he's the defending champion. He's the Swiss rider. I don't know how old he is, but he's probably
Who does he ride for, Lance?
Nino Schurter.
Yeah.
A BMC. No, he rides for Scott. He rides the same bike.
What does his bike look like, Lance?
It's
Eerily familiar, isn't it?
It is eerily familiar. He was on a new bike though, and it's like one step up from the one I'm riding.
It's the one that's like $5,000 more than your.
Yeah, right.
It's like, God, what? I think it's close to like 15.
What
grand.
does it
It's
have
grand.
on it? What does it have on it that yours doesn't? What's the difference?
Flux capacitors.
Yeah. Is it way better than yours?
It's just lighter. It's lighter.
It's
different
probably
wheels, lighter
Yeah.
wheels.
Different wheels?
Yeah.
That's, I don't know.
Nino Schurter though, he's a freaking legend. So
Yeah.
pretty awesome. But there was drama with this race because there were 3 road riders who decided to do the mountain bike XCO race, which was Tom Pidcock, who was the reigning Olympic champion. And he's done a couple races this year. Vanderpool decided he was also going to do it. He had just won the road race a week before, and he's like, okay, I'm going to do the mountain bike race too. I'm going to go for it. And Peter Sagan, it's kind of his like
what is
retirement
Peter?
tour.
Peter, what are you doing?
He's like
Well,
his
it's not a
retirement
retirement tour.
tour.
He's signed with a specialized team, so he's going to be racing mountain bikes for him next year.
Yeah, so I don't understand. But anyway, the UCI has this rule that you can move up in the start grid if you are like in the top 10 of UCI points in another discipline, but it's at the UCI's discretion. And they decided to exercise this for those 3 riders, which was Pidcock. There were 13 rows for the start grid.
Yeah.
Start position is pretty important
Yeah.
in mountain biking, just like cyclocross. Start position is pretty important because if you get held up,
Yeah,
at
the
the
bottles
beginning,
next will slow you down, and the front of the point end of that race is going to get away, and it's a lot of work to catch up.
Correct. So Pidcock, he had some points, so he was going to be starting on the 6th row. But with the UCI, ruling, they said he moved him up to the 5th row.
Yeah.
Vanderpool would have been dead last. He hasn't done a single mountain bike race this year. And so he went from the 13th row. They moved him to the 5th row.
Yeah.
Sagan did the same thing, although He's like 400th in UCI points, so I'm not sure why they moved him to the 5th row.
Photo op.
But they did because he's Peter Sagan.
I mean, if you're like trying to be like a race promoter and you want that photo and there's real value there, sure. But you can't do that at these big races, at these competitive like world championship stuff like that. Like you can't do that.
They announced it the day before the race that they were doing that.
Baloney.
So all these other racers, like they fashioned their whole season around getting enough UCI points so they can be in a certain position on the start grid. So they spent all this money, all this time to get these points, and then these 3 guys showed up and they're like, let's move to the front.
I got to give props to Pidcock because he got a bump. He got at least 1 row bump.
He moved from 6th row to 5th row.
And he called it out on social media. And he said,
this is bullcrap.
This is bullshit. Like, this is... What is our podcast? PG-13?
This
After
is
hours, man.
Oh,
PG-13.
after hours.
That's acceptable.
Take a drink of that. Modelo.
Cheers. Modelo. After hours. Yeah, that's bullshit.
Yeah. So Pidcock did say, not cool. I don't agree with this. I didn't,
I'm just going to take my spot, but I'm not going to.
I'm not going to do it. Yeah.
Anyway, it was good. It was good to see him throw that out there.
Yeah. So it was good for him. So race starts hot and fast and furious. Mather Vanderpool.
Mather? I like that. That's a good one.
Mather. He didn't even make it through the start loop. There's a little fake start loop before you actually do the actual XCO laps.
Huh.
So they always do that to try to string it out just a little bit.
Yeah.
And his front wheel washed out on a right-hand turn, and he went down and banged up his knee and banged up his face and race over.
Oh, good thing they got that photo up before he did that.
Literally, I'm guessing it was 3 minutes into the race or something like that. This is an hour and 15-minute race, and he went down and was out in the first 3 minutes. Bummer. But Pidcock, starting on the 5th row, by lap 3, he had worked his way to the leaders, which was Nino Schurter and there was 2 other guys.
Some other guys. Super stud cyclists.
Superstars. So they battled, the 3 of them battled for 4 laps, and with 2 laps to go, Pidcock just was able to drill it and pull away.
Didn't he biff it somewhere, crash, and then come back?
No.
Did you already talk about that?
No.
Did
Pidcock do that?
Yeah.
I don't think he went down. I watched the race this morning.
Yeah, okay. Well.
But I did skip some parts because it was an hour and 15 minutes. I didn't sit there and watch the whole thing.
I feel like I saw something. Maybe it was a different race. Could have been a different race where
Maybe.
I don't know. Report back to us, listeners. Tell us what we're missing.
What we screwed up. Anyway, Pidcock ended up winning the race by about 20 seconds. Nino Schurter got caught by one other guy, and he ended up 3rd. So after 10 world championships, he ended up 3rd this year. And the guy who won the short track world championship 5 days ago, he ended up getting 2nd place. I think he was an Australian guy. But
nice.
Yeah. So super fun to watch. So that was kind of exciting. So that was actually the first thing I did when I got back to my home TV was watch that race on a big screen because it was pretty cool. Okay, I'm droning on about all these races because we haven't talked about races for weeks.
It's all right, champ. It's been a minute since we talked to you. I got something.
Bring it.
Leadville 100.
Yes, the Leadville 100 just happened last weekend.
Holy smokes, that was fast. The record had never. Well, I think he had the record, but nobody nobody's ever finished in under 6 hours.
Yes, they have.
Are you sure?
He missed the record by a minute last year. So
he finished last year at 6 hours exactly and
1
in
second
or something like that. So the record was just under that. It was
under
5:59 and change or something.
It was something like that. And when the record was set back in 2015,
yeah.
The guy who set the record had 5 teammates who paced him.
Okay.
So it was like a team effort with this guy going out. So Keegan Swenson showed up. He said, not only am I going to win this race, I'm going for the record.
Yeah.
And so Yeah, it's a 100-mile mountain bike race with 12,000 feet of climbing.
Starting at like 10 or 12,000 feet of altitude.
Leadville is at 10,000
Yeah,
feet.
that's
It
right.
climbs to 12,500, I think, twice.
Ugh.
And he did 100 miles on the mountain bike in 5 hours and 43 minutes.
That's a
31
damn,
seconds,
That's a
yep.
damn good 100-mile time
My gosh.
if you're on the road.
It's pretty unreal what Keegan Swenson did.
Yeah.
So riding these Santa Cruz, right?
He rides a Santa Cruz. He rode a hardtail.
Uh-huh.
This is interesting. He rode a hardtail, a mountain bike, but he also had bar tape on the right next to the stem, and he had blips on the bar tape. So on all the road sections or flat sections,
Yeah.
he could have his hands in the most aero position and still shift gears.
Yeah, they've got those new wireless blips
Yeah.
that you can put pretty much anywhere on your bike that you want. Just adhese them in there and you just start shifting.
At that point, when you're going that fast, like he's probably really thinking about aerodynamics, which is just crazy.
He was.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
very much so. He knew that would be an issue.
And there's a lot of downhills.
There is a lot of downhill, but there's like
Gotta be careful.
There's like a climb that like many people walk, like the
Yeah.
last section.
Yeah.
Powerline, is it?
Yeah, Powerline or Columbine or
Columbine,
something.
something like
Those
that,
are
yeah.
the two names, big climbs. I've never done it, so but
Put it on your list.
put it on the list. But he also his teammate Tobin Ortenblad helped for the first like 20 minutes. They tried to make the first 20 minutes as hard as possible to try to up the pace and kind of.
Why would you do that?
So yeah, so
Separation. Mile.
Yeah.
so for like the first 20 minutes of this 100-mile race,
Let's burn a few matches, boys.
Tobin Ortenblad like said, I'm doing this for Keegan.
Yeah.
And just like drilled it so that he had a chance at the record. And then he went solo at like mile 45 or something and did the whole rest of it solo and crushed the record by 15 minutes without any other teammates or anything else.
Oh,
So-
sorry. So he came in first. Obviously, we've already talked about that. Then Alexei Vermeulen.
Alexei Vermeulen.
Yep.
Was
Came in
second.
second at 6 hours and 8 minutes. We saw both those guys when we went to training camp, right?
We saw both Keegan and Alexei
Alexei
in
was right next-
Tucson.
You guys are basically pro mountain bikers.
Basically, we were the reason.
part of the team.
Yeah.
You're basically part of the
We're
team.
basically on the podium at Leadville.
Dylan Johnson, also friend of the podcast. I think he was like top 20. I thought I saw him
He was
post something
top
about
20.
that.
Yeah.
So we're there.
We're right there.
We're there.
Conditions were good in Leadville this year. A little colder, so and there was some rain, and so the dirt and trails were a little like batted down. So conditions were good for speed. A lot of the racers complained that they went faster than ever before, but were like 5 or 10 places worse.
Oh, wow.
But the Lifetime Grand Prix Fitness, the Grand Prix is pulling out all these. It's bringing more talent in. Some more people are showing up.
It's from you get overseas people too.
Yes,
It's
peop- yeah.
That's the gig, man. You start throwing around that much money,
Yep.
people are going to come out.
Dylan Johnson finished 17th place with a time of 6 hours and 26 minutes.
Good on ya.
Yeah.
He was happy with that,
Yeah.
from what I could tell.
So
Oh my
fantastic.
gosh. Keegan Swenson averaged 17.47 miles an hour.
On a freaking mountain bike.
Dude, that's
for
nuts.
100
So
miles.
just to put it into perspective, Dylan Johnson's no schlep, right? He's fast.
He's
Yes.
a legit. Like,
15.5 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So like almost 2 miles an hour faster. Good Lord. It's flying.
Yeah, it's flying.
Huh.
So pretty unreal. The women's race at Leadville was won by Sofia Villafone. I screwed up her name.
you nailed it.
Won by
Don't-
Sophie,
don't
who
second guess
is
yourself.
Keegan's girlfriend.
Oh,
I was going to say they're both from Herbert, Utah.
Yeah.
keep it in the family.
Not
Or
Heber,
Heber, whatever the
Heber.
heck it's called. All right. Okay, Utah boy.
Herbert.
So Sophie won. I think she was just over 7 hours, and
7 hours, 9 minutes, and 48
yeah.
seconds. Yep.
And she won by a ways. Who was second?
Ruth Winder
Okay,
was 7 hours and 11 minutes. So it was kind of close. It was like 2.5 minutes or so.
I think Ruth was pulling her back in until like the last drag into the finish line is like roughly 6 or 7 miles, and it's like 1% uphill.
Yeah.
And I think that Ruth was with Sophie at that point, and she also had bar tape on the inside of
Blip
her
shifters,
and
yeah.
blip
The secret.
shifters, and she just put her head down and like drilled it.
Gotcha.
I don't know how you go that freaking hard after 6.5 hours. I'm empty at 6 hours, just empty. I don't know how they do that. I can't.
It's different.
Yeah,
It's different.
I'm old. It's different.
It's different than you.
It's different than me.
You're good for 60 miles.
I'm good for 2 hours.
You're,
And then
you're
I'm
great.
No, and then
you're
I'm
great
no
for
good.
2 hours.
I'm great for 2 hours. Then I'm no good.
Keegan had an interview afterwards, and he said, "I didn't want to just get the record by a few seconds. I wanted to make it mine."
Yeah,
Like he wanted to own that
he
mofo.
wanted to just crush it.
Dude, I mean, yeah, there's always somebody out there faster, but that record's going to probably stand for a little bit of time, don't you think?
Nope.
It depends on how good the drugs get. Yeah, I think it's been there for 8 years already, and it was done as a team effort before. And so the fact that he did this with only like a 20-minute help from a teammate and then was able to, drill all this is pretty freaking amazing. So
That's awesome. Good job.
yeah, good job.
Someone will want the record and go out and do something like either like a team pursuit thing or something will happen.
Somebody's
watch
got
this
to be
space.
willing to like go super hard for 4 hours and then just like pull the parachute.
Yeah. Maybe 3 hours. I don't know. We'll see.
Huh. Hey, do you want to talk about transfers at all? Did we discuss that?
We didn't discuss that.
Let's just run through that real quick, and then we'll jump
have
into
any?
our mini topic for the day.
Do we have any transfers that we want to talk about?
Well,
or-
I thought that there was one that was
Oh.
pretty interesting that kind of came out of nowhere. Matteo Jorgensen,
Teo Jorgensen is leaving
Movistar,
Movistar and going to
Jumbo Visma.
Jumbo Visma.
wow, that team.
Fantastic for him.
Yeah.
Jumbo Visma just got better. Him going to that team, I mean, what's that going to do for him? Okay, this is a team with a bigger budget than Movistar and has all the things at his disposal. Is that going to get like 2 or 3% more out of Matteo? That might mean that he could have won that stage that he barely lost.
This is
at
true.
the Tour de France.
Yep.
So I mean, that could just be
Well, the next question is it going to come in and be a supporting role for, years to come at the Tour, or are they going to set him up maybe to, like, because Roglic is getting up there in years, let's be honest. And so, like, who's going to step up and maybe take the
next
spot of
role?
Roglic? I mean, how old is Matteo? He's not that old. He's in his early 20s, if I'm not mistaken. But, sending him out to do the Euro or the Vuelta, that could be a good play. And then they've got him, if they need him, at their disposal to take to the Tour to add to all the other horsepower that they already have. Could be an interesting play.
he's 24.
Yeah, he's got a lot of years still.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
So yeah,
that's
maybe.
interesting. Remco is still with Quick Step.
Remco's still with Quick Step.
Remco's dad wants him to go somewhere else and get paid
Remco's-
money, or he's trying to get somebody to cough up. But
He keeps making noise and keeps talking to the press, and I'm not sure if it's by design or if it's that he just can't keep his mouth shut, but he is not keeping his mouth shut. And he's saying how Remco doesn't have a good enough team around him to win the Tour de France. And quite
This is
frankly,
when you get your dad like checked into a home.
That's right, Dad. You're just guess how old his dad is? I don't know, but my guess is
My guess is he's like
45.
yeah, probably
he's like 50
He's
probably.
probably 45. He's probably pretty young.
It's probably
So
his manager and his agent and
Like, Dad, you're going to a home.
his publicist and
You're
his
55, but you're going
TikTok
to a
manager.
home.
Yeah,
Right?
He's his social media manager.
Probably collecting a hefty paycheck off of Remco's earnings.
Yeah, Jumbo also extended Jonas's contract, Christophe Laporte's contract, Robert Gessing's contract, but
Oh, they wanted to. They
Any
wanted
mention
to
of
keep Jonas?
what Jonas's contract is paying out these days?
didn't say.
They,
no.
that information usually leaks.
He
and it's
should be.
ridiculous.
I think he's being
Ridiculous.
paid like 5 million euros a year, something like that. So
Is Chris Froome still under contract with Israel?
he is.
What did he get? He got some.
He got same 5 million euros
yeah.
a year.
They pretty much came out and said this past year that he's been a waste of money. I don't know if it was those exact
It's not
words, but it was kind of like not a polished response, and it was pretty poignant in terms of like they're not happy with him, and he has not been worth the money. And
No.
He
Well, I mean
thought-
that was a huge mistake by them,
He thought that he was going to go,
and he thought he was in good shape.
that he was in good shape. He's like, I'm doing as good as power numbers as I've ever done. I should be able to go to the tour team.
Really particular about his weight. He talked about his weight
Yep.
being his weight was where he needed it to be.
He did not get selected.
Chris Froome is pretty good for the last few years, though. He's come out and said, "I'm ready. I'm fit. I'm all the things." And no,
Everybody's passed him by.
yeah,
Which is crazy to think
yeah.
that he was the top of the game for 4 years, and now everybody's passed him by.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy.
It's unfortunate, but he's still getting paid. He doesn't care.
Well, he
getting
does.
paid.
He cares.
He does, but he's getting
quad
paid.
lock, people. Quad lock.
Yes. Staring at your stem with the quad lock on
If you're
it.
going to stare at your stem, you might as well have a quad lock on here.
All right. Anything else, Champ?
No, that's it. Champ out.
Sweet.
He does use that quad lock. I saw some YouTube video and he was like he was like watching the tour on his bike and he was on a gravel ride on his birthday. And I'm like, you're going to kill yourself, man. And he was like descending on gravel, watching the tour with a quad lock with his like phone on his bike. And I'm like, wow, that's something. You didn't learn from that last crash, Chris?
All right, we're going to jump into our topic to the day. It's going to be maybe a little bit of a smorgasbord. It's going to lean a little bit into the old Vuelta that's coming up here pretty soon. I did want to get into the Tour de France Femmes because we still haven't had a chance to kind of break that down. That was a fantastic race. I don't want to not give that enough time.
We did not give it the coverage that we should have given.
Yeah, or that we
Tour de
wanted to
France
give it.
first.
It's just
that we wanted to give
I
it.
don't even think was anyone even, like our podcast was so sporadic.
Yeah, right. That week that it went down, it was an 8-day stage race. And we were all
gone elsewhere doing other
planets.
things, and just the timing was off. We are going to do something a little bit more proper, and we want to bring in somebody that can speak on their behalf. Maybe we would like to find a woman out there that maybe is big time into racing, or
I'd love that.
somebody that's gone through and done that. But I kind of want to spotlight the women a little bit more and kind of set up a little bit for the next year so that we can get to know more of the players and have that be more of a regular thing. So just want to make sure that we do it the just service that it deserves. And today is probably not the day because we're going to touch on a few things. So we will come back to that. So stay tuned. Stay
The
tuned, folks.
Vuelta starts not tomorrow, but this coming Saturday. I don't know when this podcast is coming out, but
It'll probably come out either tonight. It's on Friday or Saturday. It just depends on how much.
the following Saturday
Yeah.
is when the Vuelta starts.
Yeah, August 26th.
Yep.
Yep.
Next
Soon.
Saturday.
Yep. Cool.
So that's pretty exciting.
Who's going to beat Jumbo Visma on their super team that they're taking? I don't know. I mean, is there
Egan Bernal.
Egan Bernal.
Egan
Bernal.
Ernie
Beaker?
Bernal.
Beaker
Ernie
Bernal?
Beaker
Beaker Bernal?
And Mather Vanderpoel.
Matter.
Mather.
We nail pronunciation on this podcast.
Killing it.
It's one of the things we're known for.
Swedish chef.
Beaker.
Oh gosh. No, seriously though. Who is going to beat Jumbo Visma?
I really do think Egan Bernal is going to have a good one.
Shut up.
Egan Bernal. I really do. I'm not joking.
That's over here channeling his inner Evan.
This is what would Evan Price say?
Evan Price would say Adam Yates is what he would say.
Yeah.
Who's not even going to be
Yates
there.
brothers are going to go
I
toe
don't
to
know
toe.
if they're going to be there.
Lance,
but-
do you happen to have Jumbo's roster up? And if
It's
not, can you pull that up real quick?
It
of
hasn't
they
been
are?
announced yet. The whole thing has not been announced
Okay,
yet.
so it haven't come out, but we have a pretty good idea of who they are taking, and it is a freaking super team. It's a better. This team would beat their Tour de France team.
Jonas Vingegaard,
Finger go.
Bingo go.
Primoz Roglic,
There you go. Nailed it.
Well played. Well played.
Prima Roche.
and Sepp Kuss.
Is Sap Coast going to be there?
Sepp Kuss is also going to be there. So all three of those guys are going to be there, plus the regular guys.
No Wout though, right?
No Wout.
Wout's playing
Wout,
Mr. Mom right now.
Wout needs to be done.
Yeah.
If he's going to do any cyclocross, and he probably will because he's freaking Wout, but he's got to. I don't know. I don't think he's not on the roster. It's kind of surprising that Sepp Kuss is on the roster because
This is number 3.
he's done. He did the
Euro.
He did the Euro and the
Tour.
tour, and now he's also doing the Vuelta. Come on,
It's pronounced Via Elta.
Via Elta Vuelta.
Via Velto.
The Velveeta.
Velvito. De España.
Just a curiosity here. He had the option probably to say, no, I'm good, guys. I've done enough, and I'm just going to call it a season. He's going to go because he's a sportsman and he's got a good team and he's going to go have fun. But do you think he gets paid extra to go do that, or just in his contract to?
Oh, they get bonuses when they do grand tours for sure.
But those bonuses aren't that big. I mean, if they win, it's like $1 million or something like that. They split amongst all of the teammates and the
whoever
staff.
is like the tour winner usually also gives an additional bonus, especially to the lieutenant or whatever it is.
Yeah, right.
So he's going to get paid for this, but I think he's doing it because he's a sportsman.
Yeah.
I mean, he had crashes at the tour.
Sure.
He could use some time off, I'm sure.
There's
But
preliminary
he must
lists
be healthy.
out. There's preliminary lists out, but not.
Is Beaker Bernal on the list?
Let's see.
He's my
Ineos.
dude, man.
So Thomas, Geraint Thomas.
Who?
Geraint.
Garrett?
My taint, John.
Oh, good one. He would love that.
Lance, have another Modelo, buddy.
Have another Modelo.
So Thomas is the guy for Ineos. They
man.
also have.
How old is she now?
Egan
53?
Bernal.
Beaker Bernal. No.
Beaker Bernal is on the list as well.
Geraint Thomas is going to ride in support. You heard it here first, people. You heard it here
I'm pretty
first.
sure Luke Rowe is going because he talked about it on the podcast, and he's not on this list.
Interesting.
Yeah. So this list that I'm looking at is obviously not.
Pitcock going? I'm guessing he's not because he's like
Pitcock
his
is not.
engine's tuned to mountain bike racing right now,
Yeah.
probably.
And I'm guessing that he will do some cyclocross as well.
This could be more interesting than the tour in a lot
could
of
be.
ways.
Is Mr. Big Six going?
Yes.
Yes.
Remco.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
This was like his goal for the year. He wanted the Giro,
Yep.
but he got COVID.
Yep.
Yep.
His dad told me that he's going to have to surf. He's going to have to surf wheels because he does not have a team.
He's got. I don't recognize anybody's name on his team.
He does not have a
He's
team.
got Remco Evenepoel, Luis Vervacchi,
Let's hold on. Let's
Mary Van Severant.
let's FaceTime his dad and get him on the on the podcast. He has some things to say, I think.
So it's going to be a battle between Remco and
Roglic.
Roglic
Okay.
or Vingegaard.
Yeah.
And who else?
Let's go. We need to go around the table because you have to pick one person. And I know all of us are going to say there's a lot of us that are going to pick the same team, but who on the same team are we all going to pick? Who do you think is going to win the whole thing? Is it the red? Do they use a red jersey for this one?
Red jersey.
Who's going to win the red jersey?
Called the Red Tomato.
Do they?
Yeah, go full tomato.
Okay.
That's what my taint Thomas says.
I love that name. Hope it sticks. Who do you think's going to win it all?
I think Remco will do it.
Whoa, really?
No.
Okay. I thought you were serious. Because that's a reasonable pick.
Why wouldn't you pick Vingegaard? He's
going to ride in
He's
support
going
of
to ride in
Roglic.
support of Roglic. Yes.
He will not.
Okay. We got one vote. Vingegaard. Good choice.
Vingegaard.
You're taking Vingegaard?
Yeah. I really don't know. I'm fully guessing.
I'd have to take Roglic if we're talking Jumbo.
I would choose Roglic in that situation too. However, I'm going to pull my Evan Price and go
Adam Yates.
Egan Bernal's going to win it.
Egan Bernal.
He's going to win it. I don't know how. I don't know how. And Geraint Thomas is going to ride in support. That's a good 1-2 punch right there.
Is there a fantasy league for the Vuelta?
I don't
the
know.
Tour?
That'd be fun.
I don't even see
where do we watch
UAE team
this?
on here. That's a good question. I don't know where we watch it.
Seriously though,
It's probably on Flow Bikes or
It'll be on
GCN.
It'll be on GCN or Flow Bikes, probably.
Yep.
do you think that Evenepoel has a chance of going up against Jumbo-Visma and all that horsepower? I mean, yeah, he's a talent and all that other stuff.
Okay, if he can sit on all those wheels,
Surf wheels.
if he can surf wheels and do it without a team, then
but let's rewind 2
Then
years.
he's one of the big six.
And let's say that they don't try and put themselves in the red jersey for, say, like the first week and a half, and they're doing rope-a-dope again with Vingegaard and Roglic.
no shot. They'll just drill him. if that's the
He's going to
case.
get destroyed. There's no way that he can do that.
Well, I think he could potentially be wearing red at the end of the first week, and I think he could have like one of those big first 2 weeks maybe, but I don't know about 3 weeks. That's a long time.
Yeah.
I think he's going to come out strong and then fade. That's my prediction. He'll probably have some sort of reason why he has to drop out. I don't think he'll
He's
finish.
the defending champion. He won last year.
Did he?
Why did he win last year? I don't remember. How did he win?
Evenepoel won last year?
Yeah.
I thought Roglic won.
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Are you sure? All right.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I believe it.
Well, what was the question again?
Well, I think we were just
Who's gonna
talking
win?
about like how he was going to win, who was going to win, and we got 3 different votes here. We got Vingago, we got Roglic, and we got the real winner.
And they still have-
Egon Bernal.
They haven't announced Quick Step's roster, obviously, but do they have like a tentative lineup of who's going to ride there with them? And of that lineup, how many of those names do you recognize?
They're actually
For who?
looking. They're actually looking for
Quick
people.
Step.
I didn't recognize a single name.
The Quick Step people are looking. They're actually looking for riders. They're listening to the podcast
Where's
now.
Julian Alaphilippe? Why isn't he there?
That would be
Because he is smart and his season is finished.
the
And
best
he rode
pick.
the tour, and Evanpool did not.
Yeah, but they need him. They don't have anyone else.
I know.
That'd be great. He would be a good kind of team captain guy too.
If this is what they're doing, I question Quick Step's decision-making process here. Sure, you can send Evanpool, but you're not sending him really with any support.
No.
you agree with Evan Poole's dad.
Maybe. Why wouldn't they send him to the tour and just like, check out of the Vuelta, but just say, screw it. Like let's put our sights on what's more important here. Let's stack our team and take him to the tour versus the Vuelta. I don't get it. And they're not going to.
Maybe they didn't want to. They didn't want to throw down.
Maybe
with
they think he's
UAE
too
and
young.
Jumbo.
And they might very well have some unknown commodity that's going to be on their team that's going to come out and do fantastic things and could be a huge asset to them that we just didn't know anything about and could be the story of the tour. But I mean, if they are unknowns though, I mean, how do you stack up against Jumbo Visma when you've got those behemoths?
That's a Roglic and Vingago. That's just ridiculous.
Both of them.
They're unstoppable.
Well, let's
And
say,
Sepp Kuss, and Wilco
And Sepp
Kelderman,
Kuss.
and Dylan Van Barlen, and Robert Gessing.
okay, here's another question for you too, though. If we know that Wout's not there, and if you had your choice though, would you rather have Wout there than Vingago supporting Roglic or whoever the other one's going to be, or would you rather have it be
There's
what
steep
this?
climbs in this race. I just think that Wout is fried, and I think I think Vingago is a support person. You get to the hardest point in the tour, and he's just handing you Modelos. I mean, he's going to be A-okay to support you.
He's pushing Roglic up the steepest part of the hill.
Oh, man. It could be fun to watch.
Now they're going to have a team time trial. That's kind of exciting.
Team
Haven't
time
seen-
trial. First stage,
Yeah.
stage 1, team time trial.
Does Remco Evenpool drop his team and yell at him and throw a temper tantrum because they couldn't keep up?
The time is like the 5th person across the line, so they
He just
only
needs
have
to put him
they
up
only have to have
front.
5.
Just put him up front, and the rest just draft the whole time. He's
He
such a
clear-
good time trialer.
He beat Filippo Ganna. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, he's so
Yeah.
good.
So
Well, we'll see.
Yeah,
Should
it's gonna
be
be interesting.
Should be fun to watch.
it should be fun to watch.
Anything else that you want to talk about with La Vuelta?
No,
Where can folks watch? Is that on Peacock again?
We don't know. We think GCN.
I think it's
GCN
I think it's on Peacock.
Is it?
I think so.
You might be right. We'll go there.
I think
figure
somebody
that out.
mentioned that, but yeah, we will check that.
yeah, Peacock, NBC Sports, and Peacock.
Oh boy.
Giddy up. Same early start times. Getting up
Probably.
at 5 o'clock in the morning for 3 weeks.
Yep.
Not gonna happen. Cool. All right. Anything else that you guys want to talk about? Let's put that one to rest. There's too much stuff that we still don't know. It's we can change out, but we will maybe touch on that a little bit more next week, and we can kind of tie up some of these loose ends. Maybe.
Sounds good.
Cool. Anything else that you guys want to talk about in our little smorgasbord of a topic here? Anything?
That's it.
That's good.
We good?
We rattled on long enough.
We did.
All right. Well, let's do one last thing. Matt Legrand.
I just posted a video today. It was late.
Oh.
It's late, but I posted a video for the week, and I did some After Effects in there.
Ooh.
I know. Yep. So you'll have to check it out just for that. It's about the Apple Watch Ultra because I've had it for 300 days, and I did a
cool.
Apple Watch Ultra after 300 days.
What
So
time
there's
did
that.
that go live today?
1 o'clock-ish, maybe.
How's it doing?
Good.
Like,
Maybe 1,000 views, maybe.
oh wow, that's
It's
cruising.
solid.
Yeah.
It's solid. I mean, it's not going to be like a massive, explosive, whatever video, but it's got 1,000 views
Sweet.
in
What's the
6
old
hours.
the viewer count up to the subscriber count? How many subs you got now?
2021.
Oh, geez, that's a
21,000.
big jump.
21.
Yeah, good job, dude.
Killing it.
Yeah. So there. That's go to the YouTubes and watch the videos. Subscribe.
YouTube.com
hit the
/ Matt Legrand
M. Legrand.
or M. Legrand.
Yep. Well, if you just search Matt Legrand, you'll come up with 2 choices. You have to choose wisely because the wise choice is the singer / male stripper that dances on the beach and sings to girls. Or you can choose me.
Is that
on
guy still
YouTube.
posting, by the way?
He hasn't been posting as much lately, which is really sad because he was a talent. And
I think he demoralized
I think
him.
he's still. I mean, but like if you search for my name or whatever, he does show up a lot because he's on Spotify and all the other platforms and stuff like that. So
You should do a video and call him out. Ask him if he wants to like have a showdown or something like that.
You should
Well,
have
kind of
him write a jingle for you.
Oh, there
what
you go.
what if we performed it together and I took my
Yes.
shirt off
Even better.
and I had like a greased up hairy belly and I'm like, ladies of the beach.
You should shave your chest, but not your belly.
Okay.
Okay.
So far so good.
I love it.
Shave
Keep
the
those
chest
ideas.
into a big heart.
Keep
yes,
those
yes.
a big heart
Yeah.
with an arrow pointing to your belly
manliness.
button.
Okay. Keep these good ideas coming, guys.
Love it.
All right.
Dr.
Oh.
Lance Hepler, Lance Romance.
One last thing.
One last thing. Lance
International
Hepler.
man of mystery, man about town, Lance
It
Romance.
still makes me laugh, this
Lance No
thing.
Pants, Lance Romance, Last Chance, Lance Romance.
Last
Romance
Chance.
in the house. Super
Last Chance,
Genius, Lance Hepler, Lance Romance, Lance Romance.
Go. They keep going.
Puffy Pants Lance. Lance Romance. Yes. In the house.
Welcome to my show.
To my show.
Big shout out to teammate Chris Surratt. He is jumping back on the horse and has driven to Steamboat Springs,
Yeah,
Colorado.
buddy.
He is going to race this Sunday in Steamboat Springs gravel.
I just hope he has a smooth race and
Me
he's
too.
feeling okay.
He's feeling okay. He's back riding, but can only go so far and so much. So he downgraded. He's doing the kiddie race like I would have done if I had been there.
What's the distance on that?
He will.
50 or 60
I
miles.
think he's doing 50 mile.
That's good.
He was in the 150 mile
Yeah.
race, but he wisely scaled back to the 50 mile. So
A wussy. Only broke 18 bones. Come on.
broke
Man
12
up.
He broke 12 ribs.
Be patient, man.
And
Be
like
patient.
3 vertebrae.
Yeah.
It's pretty fast recovery, actually, if you think about it. He's back. He's back racing.
He's back racing. And he did like a road century like last weekend or the weekend before.
Wow.
Man.
Yeah. So,
Beast mode.
yeah, he's
He
rolling.
is a beast.
So good luck to him. He's out there racing Keegan Swenson and Payson McKelvin, who
Okay.
are all there.
Those guys better watch their backs.
Watch your backs. He's coming for you in the 50. That's it.
Sweet. My one last thing is I am heading out of town this weekend. I am going to Astoria, Oregon. That's in
Where-
Oregon, right?
It's in Oregon.
What's
Didn't you
doing there?
own something there, Lance? Like
I-
a
yeah.
dental practice or something
I
like
owned a
that?
building for 15 years there and a dental practice for 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Sold.
I've spent some time in Astoria. Many, many days and nights in Astoria.
What are some fun things to do in Astoria, Lance? Besides riding your bike.
You go see the Goonie House and do
Okay.
a truffle shuffle.
Okay.
You gotta eat and watch the seals.
You can go. There's a boat dock that is always filled with seals, and you can go.
It's Evan's worst
watch
nightmare.
the seals. Yep. So
Evan,
that's kind of fun.
dreams about it every night.
You can. There's a bike path along the Columbia River, which spills into the ocean right
Okay.
there.
Rub it
near
in, rub it in,
Astoria.
okay.
Okay. Yeah, you're not taking a bike. You're
Nope.
going fishing, and then you go fishing.
Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yeah.
You go fishing.
Yep. My son and I are going to go fishing. We're going to do a little father-son trip. We're going to go, we are on a little charter boat and we're going to go catch some salmon. So it should be kind of
Nice.
nice. Pier 10's banging right now with salmon. So we got on
Buoy 10,
what did I say?
Pier 10.
Oh, yep. Same thing.
Close enough.
Something 10, some 10 thing we're fisher at. That's all I know. Now we're on a little charter boat and there's going to be the captain and the captain's dog. And then it's, I think my son and myself, and I think there's like 2 or 3 other people, and it's a decent, let's go 30-foot charter boat. And
Fantastic.
They're going to take us out for 8 hours. We're going to catch a bunch of fish and they're going to, take care of us. And it's really cool too. Cause like, I don't have to go over there with any tackle or anything. We just like walk on the boat and they take care
They
of
got
everything.
everything for
And
you.
all of the
That
fish
is
that we
nice.
catch, they clean it for us.
That's
and-
the way to fish right there.
Oh, hells yeah. So all we got to do is just knock them dead and we should have fun. We're going to go just kind of hang out, just the 2 of us. We haven't done that in a long, long time. So it should be fun.
The other thing to do in Astoria is you go up to the column, the Astoria column. So it is like it's not like a totem pole. It's like a tower on the highest hill in Astoria, and you can climb the 150 steps up to the observation deck at the very top.
Oh, wow.
Best views in
best
town.
views. You can see like the whole isthmus and the bridge.
Interesting.
And the whole tower is filled with like painted like scenes of the past of Astoria. So,
okay.
Yeah, that's a cool thing.
Might have to climb up there and take some photos.
Yes.
Photographies.
If the sun's out, that's the spot.
Yeah.
Top of the Astoria column.
Been stinking hot here. It's cooled off a little bit. It wasn't quite as bad today, but I'm guessing that it should be pretty nice over on the coast.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Should have gone like last weekend. Oh, speaking of last weekend, I really didn't talk about that. We had the two criteriums.
Oh my gosh, we didn't even talk about the
Yeah,
crits.
we should have probably alluded to that a little bit. So I'll cover that one last thing real quick. We did the Vancouver Courthouse Crit on Saturday, and that was the regional criterium championships for
USA Cycling
and
Washington.
Yeah, in Washington. So it was Washington, Oregon, and Idaho, and was there another state in that little thing? I think it's just those three.
I think it's those three.
And there was a lot of people that descended upon the good old city of Vancouver, Washington. We had folks coming from British Columbia, which was kind of cool down there. I didn't race because I'm broken, but I was at the races all day long, providing neutral support in the pit. I was running the pit. So
how busy was the pit?
It was actually a pretty busy day, Lance. I fixed a lot of bikes. I fixed a lot of tires. I fixed a lot of stuff, and I helped a lot of people not only like get back in the race, but actually just be able to race in general. Like there was people showing up with all kinds of random things. I'm like, am I at a triathlon here? What's going on? No, but just like for whatever reason, a lot of people that came from out of town were having to come see me because they're out like trying to warm up and whatnot, and they're coming in with flat tires. And they're not riding tubeless. So I don't know. So anyway, we had to change out a bunch of those, but there's people coming in with like bent derailleurs. There's people coming in with like electronic issues. There's people that were having headset issues. There's people that were just all kinds of random stuff. And a lot of these people would not have been able to race. So I was able to like fix everything. I don't think there was a single thing that I wasn't able to rectify for people to get back out there. You had another guy come out. I think he's on Team Forza, if I'm not mistaken, but he had a zip wheel that the cassette kept coming disengaged and the balls weren't catching, and he just wasn't doing anything. And he thought his race was over. I was able to make it work. Did the whole race, and he ended up, I think, finishing in the top 5, which was kind of cool.
Oh, wow.
And then he came out and did the race on Sunday, the Hammer Crit. We'll jump into that one next. He came out to do that, and he was out warming up. The thing did it again, and I told him, I'm like, there's a good chance that this thing comes disengaged again. And he came back, and we had more time this time, so I got to actually spend more time on it, make it proper, and went through, got it all cleaned up, got it re-engaged, and everything was connecting just right, and he won his race.
Oh, really?
Came up to me after the race and gave me a big hug, and he was super stoked. And he's like,
"Is it Matt Raddick? Radich?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I got to go look at the results. I can't remember his name, but that was kind of cool to see.
cool.
But
I like
so
him.
anyway, going back to the Vancouver Courthouse Crit, it was a great day of racing. Lots of people showed up. It looked like it was a pretty clean race. I think I only saw like 1 or 2 incidents where there's people went down, but they weren't bad. Everybody was, for the most part, able to get back on their bikes and do their thing. And lots of new regional champions, and people were stoked. And it was just a really well-run race, and good job to POA for that. Day 2 was the Hammer Crit, and that was actually the Oregon State Bicycle Racing Association's state championship crit race.
Okay.
And it was held at a new venue over in Gresham-ish area, or like East Portland. And that was a lot of fun to watch too. It was a little bit smoother, more of like I don't know, I think there was like 4 turns and like a little soft bend in there or something like that. So it was pretty straightforward with some nice straightaways, and it was fast and furious. It was hot though. That day was a really hot day. And the women's 1-2 was the last field of the day to go off. They actually even shortened some of the races from like 75 minutes down to like 55 minutes just because it was so stinking. And they were making ice socks for people, and you can see a lot of the racers out there racing with big lumps of ice in their back. Just it was melting and kind of keeping them cool. That race, it was another good day. We had a lot of teammates that showed up to that, and that was a lot of fun. And again, not quite as many mechanicals, but there was a fair amount of stuff that I was having to fix for people. So I was happy to be out there, and everybody was able to get, fixed and
cool.
back to riding. There was not too many crashes that I know of. I knew the women's race though. That was the only unfortunate part about it. They're on their last lap, bell lap. They're coming around the last bend, and maybe 200, 250 meters out. And I was in my pit, and I was closer to them than anybody else. And there was a group of, I think, 4 or 5 women that got tangled up, and a couple of them went down pretty hard, which was kind of a bummer. And it's just that sound. I hate that sound. You just hear spokes breaking, carbon, and it's screaming and hollering, and it's terrible. But that race finished, and I was able to run over there and kind of help some women out, and kind of one girl that got beat up the most, like massive raspberry on the side and just a huge gaping hole, and she's cut up all over the place, and it was a bummer. Oh. And she's trying to like walk with her bike, and the wheels, like both wheels, front and back, multiple broken spokes. The back one I think had maybe 6 or 7 or 8 broken spokes, and it was so broken that the wheel was like jammed up against the seat stay, and it wouldn't turn. So she's kind of like dragging her bike, not pushing it and rolling it, but dragging it. I'm like, can I pick that up and carry it for you? She said, oh yeah, thank you. And so we got over the grassy knoll. But anyway, it was aside from that, it was another great day of racing, and I spent a total of 22 hours supporting these bike races out in the heat. But you know what? It was a blast. I had fun. So anyway.
That was my big regret. That was the biggest regret of my whole trip was missing those 2 races.
Yeah. So. You would have had fun. You know what's funny too is our good friend Dr. Hamill. You know, he's Mr. Alien guy.
Yes.
Like he was trying like crazy to get off the front that whole time, and their field was flat flying, and it was all because Hamill was like at the front doing what Hamill does, dragging the whole field around, and they were just like drilling it. And
people now know.
Yeah.
I can't let Hamill get away because we'll never see him again.
This is correct.
Yeah.
So it was fun. That was a pretty fast race. I think they probably averaged another 1.5 miles faster than they would have normally gone, just because Hamill was there. So it was kind of funny. But what's funny is I got some pictures of him, and I've got a long range lens, and I can kind of zoom in on him. He's just like sitting up there, he's like and he sees me, and he's like making faces at me, and he's smiling and laughing and sticking his tongue out. And here they are going like 26, 27, 28 miles an hour, and he's up there like goofing around, but everybody's in the back, and they've got like their serious faces on, their suffer faces on, and
Hamill smiling.
Love that guy.
What lens do you use, your 400?
Yeah. I actually took the 400, and I have a 20 mil as well. So that's kind of a fun little lens to get some, like, there's a one corner that they were diving into, and you can get kind of close to them and just get a nice little vantage point. So yeah,
very cool.
Fun. So, all right, that's enough of me talking. Anything else?
That's it.
Nothing.
That's it.
I think
It's a
we're
wrap.
done.
Happy.
We will be back next week with another one of these. Thanks for listening. Until then, bye for now.